Kizisam, we are the Ambonia Liberation Army. We have jammed Rich White's communications until our demands are met. There will be no more. We want... And also... We will not be silenced.
Good evening, everybody. This is the Totally Loaded Media. Rich White's internet is out until tomorrow, and he has very weak cell phone service, so he wasn't going to do a show. So I thought we'd fire one up and do one for a while, see what happens. We've got Gizzard Gary. How's it going, Gary?
Oh, okay.
New York Outcast. How you been?
Doing all right. Thanks for the invite. So hopefully Rich's internet gets back going again, or whatever the situation is. So,
And gun websites.
Good evening. I brought a totally loaded chocolate donut or chocolate muffin with a bunch of chocolate chips hanging off of it to eat during the show today. Hope that's okay.
Doesn't look like there's much muffin in there. It's all stuff stuck to the muffin.
There's a lot of chocolate chips on it for sure. There's one for everybody. I knew everybody who'd be watching tonight, so I had Elves deliver one underneath their chair. If you look underneath the chair, there's muffins in there. Your dog might ate it. I can't help it.
I was just going to ask.
And let's take a look, see who was out there. New York Outcast was out there like right after I scheduled it. Gizzard Gary, Kingpin, gun websites, Vulcan Rumble, he is here. DJ Play Nice, Pat in a bunker. And Pat, I sent you a link. Well, I sent a link to somebody. I think it was you. We'll see if anybody shows up. Gunpowder Beauty, good evening. Our Attacking Daughters, Baron SVG. Gunpowder Beauty, rocking a moose to sleep while we transition from crib to toddler bed. And this sucks. Other than zip tying my kids, any tricks keeping these kids in their dang beds?
Oh, I got a couple. I can't speak for the legality of it, but you get one of them Velcro onesies and then line the sheet with it, the other side, hook and loop, and they stick there pretty good. And then worst come to worst, there's always a treadmill or NyQuil. But again, yeah, take that at your own risk.
I don't know. I guess we were lucky. Either my son or my daughter were, they would stay in their rooms. So
I didn't have much choice because it turns out when you turn off the light switch, the floor turns to lava, and I didn't want to burn to death, so I had to stay on the bed.
Well, and the monster under the bed will grab your feet.
Sometimes car rides work. I don't know, on location and stuff, but car rides will usually put a kid right out.
I think that's much too young for a kid to be driving, so I'm against that.
Other than that, I don't know. One of mine would sleep in a car seat, like no problem. Even in the house, would prefer to just sleep in a car seat. It was weird. So, yeah, kids are all, I guess, a little different, but getting them tired out before bed's always a good thing. Helpful.
Ken Thompson's that amount of chocolate on a muffin banned in Washington State next session.
I get these from Mexico. I have somebody bring them up for me.
Gunpowder Beauty wanted to know where you got it from. Did you have to declare it at the border or
Mexico? It turns out there's quite a few people coming up that don't go through the border crossings, so it's possible to get double chocolate muffins straight from Mexico.
How do you get here?
Guadalajara.
How do you get here except for going through the border crossings? I don't understand.
I assume they go to one side of the fence and wing them over the other side of the fence. They just throw them over the side, over the top.
Like one of those catapult things like you see on the movies?
I was thinking like Badman, but yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool.
That's not
like,
recycled chocolate, is it?
We're just playing badminton. Oops, it was a chocolate muffin.
Well, now they got the drones, so they could drop them off.
But in reality, this is not a good chocolate muffin. It's from the local like supermarket. Sorry for anybody that works at a supermarket, but it's not like a cool bakery one or some grandma made it or anything. It's just a factory made one.
Mr. Gary, can you send a link to Pat? I might have got his email wrong.
It helps if you take take the link and roll it up really tight and stick it down the tube, the air hole to his bunker, because then it just drops down. He gets it right at the end of the filter.
Well, I think there's a leak somewhere in the system between me and him, so the message doesn't make it all the way.
Yeah,
you got one of those.
Not straight drop either, in case somebody dropped a grenade or something. So those air tubes got usually a special design to them, so that might not make it down.
That's a good point. I was gonna say you got one of them things like at the old drive-thrus where it like sucks the link over to him through a tube.
Yeah. Burnaby Sanchez is out there. I don't know what does Rich White do on his chats?
I was just watching the show V from 1990 something, 2000. What was it? 2009. 2009 version of the movie V, or the TV show V. Do you remember that?
I remember the original. I didn't watch any remakes.
The original, I don't think holds up because it's kind of bad, and they really had no idea what the future was going to be in 1980. It turns out, but the 2009 one, I thought I liked it, but this is the first time I've been able to see it in a long time. But my question was going to be: aliens come down? Are they going to be robot? Are they going to be robots? Are they going to be bugs? Are they going to be reptiles or something else?
I don't think they would be bugs. I would be guessing something in between us and a gray.
You think more human looking?
Yeah, humanoid.
I think they're humanoid, but it may be where Democrats come from. I'm wondering.
Ouch.
I watched a couple movies. Never Say Never Again. The last James Bond that Connery was in. And I remember when it came out because it came out the same year that Octopussy came out, and I was really confused why there were two James Bonds in the same year with two different James Bonds. And the Never Say Never Again was kind of an independent. There was a whole legal case that had happened around when Thunderball, dealing with one of the scripts that gave that script writer permission to make that movie 10 years after Thunderball. I think it was Thunderball. And so he did.
Yeah, it's Thunderball. Which one would you like better, Thunderball or Never Say Never?
Probably Never Say Never Again. It was kind of interesting because he's an older Bond, and so the stuff he does is what an older Bond would do. He's still physically active, but he's not the young man that he once was. It's kind of long. It's 2 hours long. So
Has everybody seen all the James Bonds?
I have.
Seen most of them, if I haven't seen them all, a few times.
They had them. Some of them are on Prime on Amazon. I think all of them were for a while now. Just some of them are. So I've been going back through and watching the old ones.
I think they juggle them. I think that's like 70% of them are up there at a time. Like they never have all of them. It's like you can't just marathon all of them.
Would you believe I've seen bits and pieces here or there, but I've never watched an entire Bond movie?
Oh my goodness. You just don't like James Bond?
Never interested me back in the day. I'm thinking maybe I should go back and watch one or two of them now, but back when they were originally running, no, it didn't interest me.
It's unique because, it's been for decades and decades and different actors. And I mean, they're all from the same book series, but aside from that, they're pretty different. I think Never Say Never Never Again is one of my favorites of all of them. Not the favorite, probably, but up there.
My favorite is You Only Live Twice, the hollowed out volcano.
That is pretty good.
But what's funny is I was a huge fan of the Get Smart TV series. And also Pink Panther and stuff like that. I saw all those. So I guess I must have leaned more towards the comedic side rather than the serious side of those things. As far as spy, the spy stuff was real popular back in the 60s. It really was. It was a huge deal.
Did you like Tennessee Tuxedo?
I remember it, yeah. Dudley Do-Right was more my speed, though.
I never saw Tennessee Tuxedo. I didn't know anything about it until Pawn Stars, when they talked about it on Pawn Stars.
I forgot about Matt Helm. Yeah, Dean Martin. Hell yeah.
Have you seen any now? Tennessee Tuxedos? No. Oh, shit. You never seen, like, the Wayback Machine?
Well, the Wayback Machine was the professor and the kid on Bullwinkle.
Peabody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all the same thing, I thought.
No.
Oh.
He was Tuxedo was its own cartoon, I believe.
Oh, okay. My head has them smushed together, I guess. I thought that the Wayback Machine was part of the Walrus. Well, Tennessee Tuxedo had a walrus that he hung out with.
Yeah, I think the walrus was named Chumley, and that's who Chumley on Pawn Stars was. His nickname came from.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
That's the only reason I had ever heard of Tennessee Tuxedo. It's because of that.
Essentially, it's the guy from Get Smart, though. That's what I was asking. So I don't know if he's supposed to be Get Smart, but, he goes around acting like Get Smart. He says stuff like Get Smart says. He's the same actor, so he goes around saying the same words all the time.
Oh.
And they kind of solve crimes, because that's why I thought Peabody was part of it. I can't remember anymore. I guess that was a long time ago.
Let me jump back up here. A couple people jumped in out there. Carolina EDC Reviews. Ozzy Osbourne. And Detzlav Act. Mandatory carry. There he is. Finally. You finally came out. You're finally sober enough to come on. Every time he's called me a couple times and said, "Hey, send me a link," and then never showed up. Ghosted.
Well, the last time was my fault. I didn't get back to you and tell you that I was. And Rich would understand because we had this discussion on his show one time. I was literally about this deep inside of a cow.
Oh, were you birthing?
So, yeah. So, and that lasted till about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And by the time I got done, I was done.
I actually have some of those gloves. They go up to your shoulder.
Yeah, those. If you got to use them, they're not nice. If you got to go that deep. So I do apologize.
No, it's all right. Caucasian Sasquatch out there. Good evening.
I feel like if I ever had to do that, I would just call Snob to do it for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, city versus country. I mean, it's one of those things you got to have the stomach for it.
So, have you seen any or all of the Bond movies, Pat?
Yes, all of them several times. Like most of them. Probably my favorite one's probably the Sean Connery. Is probably my most favorite, just because I'm a huge Sean Connery fan. But
No.
the rest of them are pretty good. I can't complain. There's only a couple that I really don't care for, but they're a lot better than some other movies. I'll put it that way. So,
So, which one is your favorite?
man, that's a hard one. Just about anything with Sean Connery in it, except for the one where he had to dress up like he was Chinese.
The hollowed out volcano.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite one.
I don't like that part. It's a good movie, but it's like, how are you going to get a big guy like that to look Chinese?
Yeah.
But I realized it was late 60s, early 70s. So yeah, they did what they could with what they had. So, but yeah, looking back on it, it's like, how believable is that? But same time, it was a different time, different movie era, different period. So I understand. So
The only one I've seen in a theater was For Your Eyes Only. It was in grade school. Went with a friend and saw that.
that was a good one. I've seen just about all the current ones from about 2000 on in movie theaters, just because me and my dad are big Bond buffs. So I think the most anti-hero one of them was probably God. Now I'm having a brain fart. Roger Craig. I think he was probably the most anti-hero Bond of all time, because they'd always come up to the bar, say, "What would you like, martini?" Shaken, not stirred. And he was like, "Martini. I don't give a damn."
Yeah,
it's just like, it was like, "Give me the drink." I don't
Craig.
care.
I like the Craig movies, but he's not. He's it's a different Bond.
Yeah. Sorry, Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig. But yeah, no, I think those were all good movies. What is it? The one where he's playing poker. The big high stakes poker game. I think it was his second one, if I remember correctly. I can never remember the names of them. All I can remember is, dang it, it's one though they roll that really high priced Bugatti on the highway, and they only had one car to do it with.
Was that the one in the desert?
Yes, it was.
I just lost the name of it. I know what you're talking.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart.
Diamonds Are Forever, the one in the Vegas. Diamonds Are
No,
Forever.
Daniel Craig one. So
yeah,
okay. His second
newer.
Skyfall.
Okay,
no, it was before Skyfall.
that's a third.
Casino Royale.
It was after. It's
Yes,
the one after
Casino Royale.
Well,
no, it was Casino Royale.
Well, that was Craig's first one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay, I'm probably getting them mixed up. But yeah, it was the one where he plays the high stakes poker game, then he leaves right afterwards, and they have to.
So No
I
Time to
watched-
Die. No Time to Die.
No, that was the last one.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm just looking at all of them here.
Quantum of Solace. Thank you.
Solace.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking.
There you go. Yep. That's probably one of my favorite ones. It is probably, but no, I enjoy most of them. So
If you want to run this like Rich, I'd suggest that you play with a knife, boss. Just like a fidget toy in your hand. You gotta. If we don't hear a knife click every once in a while, nobody's gonna believe this has anything to do with Rich.
And you'd get bonus points if you'd yell at your wife every once in a while.
Or a cat, even if it's imaginary, it's fine.
shut up.
There you go. Little louder. He gets in on it.
I've got this nice Civivi that someone gave me, and I'm still getting used to the button lock. Because I'll still go to grab for a liner lock, and then it's a button lock.
Do you like it though, or no? The button lock.
It's interesting.
What about the Jade?
I do like that. I'm a big fan of the Jade scale.
The natural.
Yeah. But it's this thing. I just did it again. I went to push the liner. It is so stinking smooth. It's amazing. God damn it! I did it again.
They're magic.
It's like early this morning I took all the child safety locks off the drawers because my kid's old enough that she can open them herself. And I still, every time I go to open the drawer, I go to push the stupid lock. I mean, right after I took it off, I went to open the drawer and went to push the thing, and I knew I had just taken them off.
I'll throw in a little different click there.
Artac said Goldfinger, Live and Let Die. I think Live and Let Die is the best Bond theme. GoldenEye, Living Daylights.
Agreed.
You're saying that's the best theme?
Yep.
Best theme song.
So what Bond cars do you guys like?
The DB9.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the classic.
Yeah.
DB9.
That's the one I always think of too. Yeah.
Yeah, because when they brought it back in Daniel Craig's last one, I thought that was really cool. Kind of a callback to the old Bond films and everything. And even today, that's still a good-looking car. I mean, I'm not much on the European side as far as would wanting to collect them or anything, but good-looking car. Good-looking car for sure.
If I had more money than I could, do with or whatever, generation-wise, I'd buy one. Because it's just, I don't know, there's something about those cars. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the look. I'm with you. I working on it, maintaining it. That's a whole nother story. But if it's if I got the money that I don't care, yeah, I'd definitely drive one of those.
Yeah, but my redneck ass, I'd probably have to gut it, and then I'd probably have to put like an LS7 454 in it with a big block with a 9-inch floater in the rear end and with headers coming out on each side of it. Just to redneck it.
Killing the class of it, But
it still looked the same. There's no way you could tell until you pop the hood.
Okay.
Fence
No,
Dad's
I that's
Cease Gun People, and Rob. Baron said Peter Sellers was the best Bond. That's from the original Casino Royale, the one with Peter Sellers, David Niven, Woody Allen, the comedy.
Yeah. Well, that's been a while since I've seen that one.
Was that in black and white?
I don't think so.
No, that was in color. It's been a long time ago, but it was in color. I'm just about sure it was.
Okay, one of them's in black and white, right? I think, or no?
The beginning of what the first 2 or 3 were always in black and white, and then for the longest time they were in color. And then when what was it? Oh dang it! What's his bucket? Then they finally went back to a black and white intro. Yeah, it was black and white intros forever. So
Okay.
for the longest time.
Yeah, well, yeah, the spiral, the barrel thing, or whatever. I think. Or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
As a
Dance
kid,
or
I
something.
didn't know what that was. I thought it was like a camera shutter.
Always looked like a barrel to me, but could have been a camera shutter.
Yeah, I took it as a barrel as a kid, but
Yeah, because when he turns around and he points straight at you, and it looks like you're looking down the barrel of his gun,
yeah,
kind of deal. That's the way I always took it. Right or wrong, that's the way I always took it anyway.
So, what about On Her Majesty's Secret Service? Kind of one outlier with George Lazenby. I liked it. I thought he did a decent job. Lazenby wasn't an actor; he was a male model, and I can't remember if it was the Broccoli, the producer, ran into him at a casino or something, and they hired him to be James Bond. That's the one with Diana Riggs as his wife, who he marries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but definitely not one of the higher Bonds for sure, as far as that goes. Still a good movie, but yeah, he was kind of a one and done kind of deal. So
you think they should keep making Bonds? Like, every so many years they come out with another. I mean, I can see like different settings, but when you start remaking like the same things, I mean, should they do that, or what do you guys think?
no, because some of them been redone, and it's weird. It's the novels and everything have already been done as far as I know of. I only read a couple of the novels, but no, I think they need to keep it fresh because it's one of those things you can always go back and look at the older movies and stuff, and I think those are kind of timeless. But no, I think they need to come up with some new storylines.
Defense Dad
That's my opinion.
said the coolest Bond car was the BMW Z8. They sawed it in half. He used to sell those.
Oh yeah, that's right. When he was yep, yep, back when he used to be a BMW salesman. I forget those. I think those were the cars where you turned them, and the whole front end, the tops would toe in or out for better cornering around corners for the body lean and everything. It's supposed to make it more. It's supposed to keep the tires more flat to the ground versus the body rolling over and the tires being opposite, but they would cant when you turn the tires. So my sister-in-law has one and it's built like that. And it's not a Z8, but it's something similar.
Fine Ape is
It
out
does-
there. Good evening.
Nice.
See, Kia's coming out with a SUV thing that can do like a 360 for like parking or whatever. It can crab walk sideways, all this type of stuff.
Is that
I
to
guess
make it easier to steal?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, it looks hinky to me. I don't know. I mean, they got ads running now or commercials, whatever, but it looks like a lot going on in the rear end. You know what I mean? Like service wise and stuff. Is it worth it? You know, I mean, can't you just learn how to park? Are these cars made for China or something? I don't understand. You know,
I
don't
don't
know.
parallel park. That's a good thing about ground clearances. You nose in, hop over the curb, and straighten out.
I've done that in my truck. Yeah, I don't care in my truck, but yeah, but I mean, you guys can all parallel park, right? I mean, it's not that bad,
Oh yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's not that bad.
yeah, I
No,
don't.
I could park a long wheelbase van, like the extended wheelbase van, and it's not difficult at all.
Yeah, so I mean, and they have parking assist now, so is it worth all that extra money in the rear end for the tires to rotate like that and stuff? I mean,
That's what happens when you get a lot of 9mm shooters that want to buy cars, and then they're like, "Well, I can't park. I need a robot to park for me."
Well, they
Maybe-
had cars that did that in the 80s. They had the
yeah,
four-wheel
I
steering.
remember like the Prelude, they had 4-wheel steering with a model of that. There was a few cars out there, but this the wheels turn 180, so it'll literally go sideways, 100%. So
yikes.
don't know.
That's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I don't know. I'm thinking, if there's potholes there, stuff like that, your car gonna tip over on the street. I mean, I don't know, man. Nobody else has seen this yet.
I
Yeah,
have,
Chevrolet on their half-ton and three-quarter-ton trucks. This has been about 10 years ago. It was only on the Denali series. They did it for 2 years, and the rear end would steer too. And all you had to do was press a button, and it had 3 different modes. It had regular steering, or if you went left, the whole truck would drift left or right, or you could do the front steering would go right and the front steering would go left, and you could do these really tight circles. And they quickly learned that you burn out CV joints like a SOB on those trucks, and they discontinued it after 2 years. So
Defense Stat said the Z8 was a very limited production 2-seater roadster. John Mellon's out there. Good evening. And Ozzy, I think they should let Bond retire. I'm into Reacher now.
Reacher ain't the same though.
I've heard people complain about the way that No Time to Die ended. I thought it was, if they were going to end it, that's a, heroic way for him to go out.
Plus, he could have done a million of things to escape, so it's just a weak thing. Like, he could have done a million other things. So no, I don't like it.
I didn't care for the movie as a whole. Is the bad guy? What's his face? Was not a very good written, very well written character. I didn't think.
Would you say was your favorite of the Bond songs?
Live and Let Die. It's the Paul McCartney.
Paul
one.
McCartney. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then was covered by Guns N' Roses.
Well, that's okay. So Nobody Does It Better. Carly Simon. It's a good one.
That's a good one.
And then
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
You Only Live Twice with Nancy Sinatra. And All Time High, Rita Coolidge. I think that might be pretty high too. And I think I like Diamonds Are Forever, don't I?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm like having to put these into YouTube and listen to them so I can remember. But I just listened to Rita Coolidge, All Time High, and I just like that song, period. Plus, it's a James Bond song.
Man with the Golden Gun. The movie is so-so, but Christopher Lee, I thought, did a really good job with his character, where he grew up in the circus, so he wasn't a real smart guy, but he was a sharpshooter, and he did a really good job of portraying that, where it's like he's walking through his island fortress and he's got this solar collector, and Bond starts rattling off stuff, technical things, and Christopher Lee's like, well, I don't know anything about any of that stuff. I'm just, blah, blah, blah. But he's super rich because he's an assassin, and he as a bad guy, I thought he did portrayed it very well. Remy Malek, that's who was in No Time to Die. I've seen him in a couple things, and I thought he was awful in both of them.
Yeah, John out there, he's got a pretty good point. Adele, she's got a really good voice. I love her voice.
I thought Skyfall, the song, was better than Skyfall, the movie.
Agreed.
The Defense Dad wants them to remake Condor Man.
I don't know if I know that. What do you think of A View to a Kill, Duran Duran?
I didn't care for that one.
Because of Duran Duran?
Well, I'm okay with Duran Duran. I just didn't like the song.
Yeah, I just got a picture sent of what Bond was driving, the 7, and yeah, good looking car. I'd drive it.
Oh yeah, Skyfall's pretty good. I just listened to that one.
Yeah.
Defense Dad doesn't like Adele.
I mean, these are all, what's the word for that? Like the kind of singing, it's like, it's big singing. Like it's like, kind
of over the top.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely big. It's to create emotion, right? But some of this stuff, I don't know if it's because of the movies I like these songs, or if it's just I like these songs. I mean, they're designed to be they're like anthems. Is that the right word? Like they create emotion in you. Like they make you.
Well, like the Carly Simon one, it was a hit on the radio.
That's what I mean. Yeah, these are good songs. And I think they were all made to be James Bond songs, right? It's just that sometimes they had good. Well, I think that was a part of it. They tried to pick people that make good songs so that would be a part of, help the movies. Well, which one are you saying? The one from Carly Simon?
Yeah. Nobody Does It Better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Where's that one on the list?
Yeah, it was kind of.
I had that one as number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, it was kind of hit or miss whether they actually made it onto the charts and were actually good songs for the charts, I guess. Not necessarily a movie theme song, kind of deal. Because shoot, wasn't that one of Paul's biggest songs back in the day after he got when he did that?
Oh man, it was a big song. It was definitely on the radio.
Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't that one of his biggest songs though? I'm probably wrong, but
I don't know because he
he
had
was
all
pretty
that
big.
I
stuff
believe
with
he wrote
wings.
that in one day too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he didn't really know too much about it. Somebody asked him to write it and just gave him some basic things to go by, and he come up with that all in one day. That's the story I read anyway.
For what it's worth, I've written all of my songs in one day also.
Sure.
Fine Ape said in his best Bond song wasn't for a Bond movie. Snake Eater from Metal Gear. I don't know that one.
I think I know which one he's talking about. I think. I think he might be talking about the Metal Gear Solid.
So, what do you think is the worst Bond movie you've seen?
Golden Gun might be. It's kind of lame. Or Majesty Secret Service. I don't really like that one either.
I liked On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Man with the Golden Gun, there's definitely problems like when he's fighting at the karate school, and you can tell he has no idea how to fight. Bond.
I didn't like the part where he's like gets married and gets worried about his wife dying. Like, I didn't need any of that part of James Bond, so I didn't like the movies that touch into that.
I can see that. I get that.
I mean, I guess I understand if you're writing a bunch of books, you might as well give the character something to do. But yeah, I'm watching a movie about a guy who's running around doing stuff, gadgets and stuff. I'm not interested in his wife and getting his wife getting killed and all that.
I didn't like Tomorrow Never Dies. I think that's one of the bad ones. Just the premise of it. Price, who plays the bad guy, I really like him as an actor, and Michelle Yeoh's in it, which I'm a fan of her. Think she's a good actress, but it's a news corporation that's the big bad company. They're blowing up jets and sinking ships and stuff just so they can make news. That was a little bit lame.
That's how it happens. That's the real life.
Right.
But I go, well, I don't know, I'm sexist or whatever, but I'm not gonna pick one of the best James Bond girls and call it one of the worst movies. I mean, what happens in the movie is one thing, but it's only one of the things that happens in the movie. Like, if a movie's got a good song, good James Bond girl, good gadgets and stuff, and the plot's lame, like, I don't care. And it's got a bad plot. Oh well.
I don't know. That's the bad guy's a big part of the movie, though.
Yeah, you got to have a good yin and yang back and forth on it, in my opinion.
I'd personally have to go back and rewatch them. So I haven't seen them in a while. So I know I've seen them, but they kind of blend together in some senses. So to pick a favorite or worst is something I couldn't do at this time.
Best Bond girl. Everybody's scratching their head. I don't care her role or anything, but what was the best overall Bond girl?
That's a toughie. Let's see who was Bond girls.
Well, Diana Rigg is in Her Majesty's Secret Service, which sucks because she's awesome.
Honor Blackman, who we talked about last night, Pussy Galore. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, she was hot.
Well, here's a list. Let me see.
Who was
the list?
The blonde in the Roger Moore? movie.
Barbara Bach.
Yes. I always thought she was hot.
Anya Amasova. Halle Berry.
No, not the tall one. Not the Russian chick. She was from America. Yeah, no, that was Barbara, wasn't it? I'm thinking of the one gal that was in the.
She was in The
This
Spy
wasn't
Who
the-
Loved Me. Was Barbara Bach.
Holly Berry was
Yeah.
pretty hot back in the Catwoman days.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's. I don't know. It'd be yeah. Now you
I'm
said
not,
that. That's
not
gonna be
saying she's the
pretty
best
close.
or anything. I'm just saying, volunteering. She was
Hot.
pretty hot back in the Catwoman
Hot.
days.
Hot.
Ursula Andress. Monica Bellucci.
Is that the one I'm thinking? I'm not thinking it. She had the long blonde hair. Dang it. It'd be a tie between her and Halle Berry. Halle Berry's hot.
Roald Dahl.
She still looks good.
Roald Dahl wrote the script for You Only Live Twice.
Really?
Who's that?
He wrote Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Well, the original book, Charlie and the
Yeah.
Chocolate Factory. Yeah.
Oh, Defense Dad's got a good one. Denise Richards. Denise Richards was pretty hot too.
Yeah, I mean, Denise Richards in Undercover Brother. Yes. Denise Richards in Starship Troopers. I hate that character.
Yeah, she sucks. In that one, yeah, that's not very believable. But as far as just, I'm ranking just by, hell, I'll just say it, just by pure hotness. I mean, most of them were pretty good looking gals. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
So, okay, the Wikipedia didn't have them as a list, but here's a list. Ursula Andress, Eunice Gayson, Zena Marshall, Daniela Bianchi, Martine Beswick, Eliza Gurr, Honor Blackman, Shirley Eaton, Tanya Mallet, Nadja Reagan, Margaret Nolan, Claudine Auger, Martine Beswick, Luciana Paluzzi, Molly Peters, Marzi Guy Michioko, Mia Hama, Akiko Wakabayashi, Sai Chin, Karen Dorr. A lot of these you wouldn't know unless you saw them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need a face shot for some of these here or something. Yeah.
And it only gave me 20. So that's not all of them. It says a list of all Bond girls, but only lists up through You Only Live Twice.
Well, I don't know how many movies there are, but I seen a list here and it has 75 girls. So, there's more than one girl in a movie. There's usually a bad and a good, and then a couple of good sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but like you say, they're all attractive and stuff. And then sometimes they've got more interesting roles than others. I mean, it's pretty iconic. And is it the first one where she comes out of the water in the bathing suit? Like,
Yeah, that's
there's
Ursula
some of those
Andress.
kind- There's kind of those
Yeah.
kind of things that are pretty iconic, or the one that's dead in the bed with the gold on her. Like those are just.
Yeah, that was Shirley Eaton, Goldfinger. A Defense Dad said worst Bond girl was Grace Jones.
It was definitely an odd one, an odd pick. I don't know if she was the worst. She was an evil one. Terry Hatcher. I don't like watching people who I know who they are in James Bond movies. You know, who are in too many shows. Like, you ruin a movie. You can be in like a couple of movies and then stop it. Like, I don't want to see the same person in like 1,000 movies because now I'm mixing up movies and stuff. I hate that.
If it wasn't for Grace Jones, we may never have had Dolph Lundgren as a movie star.
Yeah, true.
He was like a chemical engineer. Got tired of doing that. Kind of became a bodyguard. Was a bodyguard for Grace Jones. Dated her, and then got into acting.
Oh, I never heard that before. That's interesting.
Huh. I'll be dang.
Christopher Reed's out there. Good evening.
I am Drago. I must break you.
You guys remember If Looks Could Kill? It's not a Bond movie.
Well, I'm to answer Defense Dad here.
Sorry.
Diamonds Are Forever, the redhead. That was Jill St. John.
I remember the name of the movie, but I can't remember the movie itself.
That was
I know
one
the
of my
title.
favorites as a kid. So it's like a knockoff spy movie type deal.
It's that kid from. It's that kid from one of the kids from 21 Jump Street, right?
I think so. William Deere. I just looked it up to verify it was the same thing I was thinking of. So yeah, I thought that was a good one as a kid. I always liked it. So it's basically a kid on a tourist, like they go overseas in some exchange thing or something, or some tour group, and kid gets mistaken as this other guy, Michael Corbin or something like that.
Yeah, he gets mistaken as a spy, and they think that it's him, and he gets thrust right into the role.
Oh yeah, he gets hooked up with the car, the chick, the chase scenes. It's it's what a damn teenager would dream of. It was cool.
And he's like 17 or 18 years old. He's like a senior in high school or something on this trip.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
Carmichael's out there. I just listened to the Snake Eater, the Fine Ape. Left a link out there in the chat for me. It does sound a lot like a Bond theme.
It's kind of a it's definitely spy movie, knockoff-ish, and kind of even the guy that like hooks the car up it's all like a hidden garage and all this stuff, secret, similar to Bond kind of. So it's pretty cool. I thought it was like I said, a good movie. So figured if you like Bond, you probably might have stumbled across that too at some point.
What was it called?
If Looks Could Kill.
Defense Dad. I don't think I remember that Bond movie, Defense Dad.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it.
I'm guessing that must have been one of the knockoff girls that didn't quite make the cut.
Oh no, that's from Mike Myers movie.
Which one was that?
The spoof of.
Oh, was that The Spy Who Shagged Me?
Yeah, I think she was in the
Austin
first
Powers.
one. Yeah, she was
Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, because it was Spitzer Swallows was I think the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. Maiden name Spitz, last name Swallows. Oh, which one is it, baby? Spitz or Swallows? Well, that kind of does rank right up there with Pussy Galore. So, a lot of vagina. Fa.
And the Japanese twins, Fukumi and
Yeah.
Fukuyu. Fukumi is a real Japanese name.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Does it mean anything?
I don't know what it means, but I know it's a real name. My wife told me. Andrew Carmichael said, "Listen to a Bond book, bit weirder than the films." Ian Fleming, a bit of a perv. I've never read the books.
Well, the
I've
books are
heard
way-
that he
they're way
kills
more
a lot. The movies, he kills more people and sleeps with more women.
He might sleep with more women in the movies, but I remember the books being pretty violent. They were pretty awesome. I remember they would let me read the books when I was a little kid before I could see the movies because I was too little. I don't know. I think I wanted to see a Bond movie or something. And they're like, well, as soon as you read a book, you can watch it or something like that. So I started reading them, and then I'm like, I need more. Like, if there's more of these, I need more of them. They were one of the first series of books I read when I was a little kid, I think, that I dug. But he had a little
read
of the books. Yeah, like a 32 of the books.
Yeah, I read the first two books before watching the movies, and I thought maybe the books were a little bit more hardcore in ways than the movie was. You know what I mean? I was like,
But
damn.
they weren't, were they? Or were they?
Well, just in certain ways. It's been forever. Like I said, that's been a long time ago since I read the book.
Yeah, same with me. I can't
but
even remember. I think I don't even own the books anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I give them away a long time ago, but I thought the books in some ways were worse than the movies as far as describing everything, in action or whatever it was. I just remember the books hitting me different than what the movies did. I was like, well, that's not as bad well, this is worse. you know.
Defense Dad said the cheesy Roger Moore era movies were my favorite, but Pierce Brosnan was my actual favorite Bond. I think if I hadn't seen
I've seen
Live and
Remington Steele, so I'm not going to watch James Bond if I already watched Remington Steele. It's not gonna...
if I hadn't seen For Your Eyes Only in the theater, which was it might have been actually the first Bond movie that I ever saw, but so to me that was James Bond, and then as I got older, I appreciated the Connery Bond more.
So what was the coolest part about Bond? The gadgets, the women, the cars, the I don't know, suspense, action as a whole. What was the best part of it?
It was all of it.
Some of the too easy, cheesy lines to pick up on. The way he could go off of other people's names or situations, and kind of that dry wit kind of sense of humor, especially the Pierce Brosnan. I thought he always did a really good job of kind of the cheesy kind of dry humor back and forth on stuff. I always thought he did a pretty good job on that.
I thought there
His
was
delivery.
Enough separation in the way he played Bond versus Remington Steele that I didn't have a problem with it. He's not my favorite Bond, but It was okay. Might have been there was enough time too had passed.
Yeah. No, I like both the Remington Steel and that. I don't have a problem with that. Trying to do that crossover kind of thing. Or between those movies. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I liked them.
Fine Ape, Connery for me, with Craig being a not so close second. And Defense Dad, Pierce Brosnan brought Bond into more modern guns, starting with the P99 Walter.
Yeah, well, part of Bond is the
PPK.
Walter PPK, so that's ruining Bond. Another reason 9mm is horrible.
Well, that's pretty much the same complaint about the BMW. Is it it's not Bond's car.
The car I can handle him having a different car every 5 minutes. The gun, that's more of a tradition.
In the book, didn't he have a 22?
No, he had a 32, but yeah, I guess it is different than the book.
I don't know. I think the car and the gun are both kind of iconic, and it does.
Well, I can see that.
change
Yeah.
a bit.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
the
he said-
DB9 and the 30 and the PPK. Just
Yeah,
As he said,
iconic.
Connery
to
first,
be-
Brosnan second.
To be fair, Bond wasn't like a door kicker in a sense. It was about the wits and outsmarting and timing and more so than gunfights in a sense. So
Right. He was playing chess. He wasn't wrestling. Although he
Yeah.
could.
Connery was more of the door kicker than
Well, he was able
Roger
to kick
Moore.
their ass. He was able to kick someone's ass where Roger Moore couldn't.
Yeah. Because Roger
Right.
Moore was more, he never got his tuxedo dirty.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wait, the Roger Moore ones were almost like making fun of James Bond almost. Like they were almost, some of them were kind of, like, oh, this guy can't die, running around, never getting shot and stuff. Like, they weren't trying to make it look like he was really dodging bullets. They were just like, and this is the guy that's going to run through and win. Like Moonraker when he's running through that place. It wasn't like you were scared he was going to really get shot.
Fine
You
Ape
got a
said,
good point.
sorry, Bond started with a Beretta 32, and it should have stayed that way. Yeah, they just thought the 32 was too small for the films.
Right. But that was the point of the book or whatever, is that like he was like, I don't need a giant gun. I can like New York saying, like, I'll just walk up and, smooth my way to be where a 32 will work.
Yep. In close. Not shooting 50 yards away. Shooting a
Or having to shoot like
50.
100 guards, he would shoot one thing and then book out of there, or like dive out of there or swim out of there, whatever.
make a distraction or something like that. Yeah, which I personally think goes more towards kind of realistic of the role or something to make a small footprint, like you're not even there. Big gun
one person.
It's kind of public.
One person is going to want to be in and out like a shadow, right? Like 17 people or 12 people or whatever. Yeah, you come in guns blazing, I guess, but it's still fake unless you got escape plans or whatever. But the one person, the whole idea would be.
Yeah, that's
they
a lot
kind
of
of
risk for
started
one
playing
person.
with it. They wrote the book, and that was one thing, and then they started making these movies, and the movies had a life of their own, like the song, the cars, the girls. So,
True.
Each one, they knew they had to add those elements to it, and that was going to be a factor of it. He wasn't doing that with the books, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical blending in and not, standing out probably doesn't make for the best movie.
Fine Ape said if they had to change it, make it a well rod. Well, they're not going to fit a well rod in your tuxedo suit very easily.
Yeah, James Bond was actually kind of supposed to be the gray man and just fit into kind of any situation and just get in and out and be able to do his job no matter what, no matter what the role took. So I wasn't. Yeah.
Do you think we should do a giveaway tonight?
This be the first giveaway of the year, or did you do one last night?
Nope. This would be the first.
Okay, I didn't get to finish the show from last night, but
You can do that.
then I'd say yeah, you should do one, man, because it's the first one of the year. This is a big deal.
Before or after the bracket?
Well, we can't do the bracket. I gave it to my wife to launder, and she shrank it.
Well,
She
that's
put it on high heat, and it shrank. So I need to stretch it back out. But so we'll go with the hashtag Bond. So put hashtag Bond out there, and in a little while we'll do a giveaway. We'll give away. I've got another She-Fire mug. Give that away, and some stickers, and some patches and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of She-Fires, she had a good chat over there today.
I missed it. I tuned in like right at the end.
Remember those little gag things that was like a ring, and you wind it up and it'd like electrocute somebody when they shook their hand?
Yeah, the little shocker thing.
Yeah, it's like the gum that turns your mouth purple or something. Something like that would have been cool for a James Bond giveaway. Not saying that the mug isn't. The mug's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, yeah.
What if you put some poison in the mug?
bonded.
What if you put some poison in the mug?
Ooh, yeah. Well, I don't think you should do that, but
How about a listening device, like a microphone in the mug? In the mug, it's a
Yeah.
bug.
that would work. Or
You got some 9mm brass I can throw in there.
Yeah.
one of those credit card knives you could like seal to the bottom somehow. So if you had to, you could, take somebody out in line to get coffee. I don't know.
Actually, I do have one or two of those lying around. I haven't sent them out just because I worry about knife laws in different states.
I've got a metal one that's kind of like a universal tool. It's got like this tiny little blade on it where it's actually really sharp, works well, and bottle opener and some other stuff. And I've gone through security checkpoints where they're running your pockets and all that, and they always refer to it as a ninja tool. I think it's the funniest thing. They're like, don't forget your ninja tool. Like, it's weird, but I've used it like so many times. Like, it's worth carrying in your pocket. I don't know. One of them cheap things you just throw in the cart to get free shipping.
Yeah,
great.
the one I know I have at least one, and I got it from Yankee, so it's branded the Yankee Marshall. So somebody will get a Yankee Marshall wallet, foldy, knifey thingy. Guns and Barbecues out there, and Gun Scholar 45. Mike McLuhan, good evening. And Fine Ape is asking, are you admitting to laundering brackets? Somebody called the revenue on this. I'm not admitting to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would have been safer to say the dog ate it, because putting your wife under the bus, I mean, if she listened, that could end up being painful. I don't know.
Oh,
Probably
let's
never
find
wash
another
a
one.
bracket. Should ever wash a bracket for you again?
No, I'll probably send them out to be dry cleaned from now on.
Mm-hmm. And all next week, he'll be coming home to piles of dirty laundry.
What I do is after a bracket's over, I just put it back in the closet, and then I can use it again.
Third-party sourcing.
We've got 10 entries so far. There's YouTube says there's 15 people out there watching, so get your hashtags in there. Hashtag Bond. If you want to win some pretty okay stuff.
Man, who couldn't use an extra coffee mug? Maybe you don't drink coffee, but hot chocolate, tea. I mean, there's you could probably drink soup out of it.
It's a decent mug.
Yeah, you probably got one or two in your house with a busted handle that you should throw away anyway.
It's got the She Fires logo on both sides. Red handle.
Nice.
Perfect for drinking out of while you're listening to the live show.
Yep. Actually, I just won her giveaway tonight.
Triggerfish 45. What's all this Bond stuff? Hashtag Bond stuff. We're doing a giveaway here in a little bit. And the hashtag to enter was hashtag Bond. So since you hashtag bonded, you were entered. Gun Scholar said you could put some Irish coffee in that mug. Yes, you could.
Ooh, that's good stuff too. Is it Jameson, Bailey's, and something else? Can't remember. That's a good way to make it, to my recollection. If I can remember the third part. It's good stuff, though. Yeah.
I think you're pretty close, Rob. I think you're really close.
Yeah. I'm just missing the third, number 3. So, yeah, I used to do that Christmas mornings at Mom's place back in the day. So, it's good coffee.
Yep. It'll definitely get you going.
I've never had Irish coffee.
Good.
I don't drink coffee anymore. And when I did, it was just with sugar. Sweet coffee, that's it.
I recommend giving it a try. If it's ever offered or you're somewhere where they got it, give it a try. Might not be your thing, but at least that way you can say you've tried it. I think, overall it tastes pretty good. So it's definitely like a flavored coffee at that point, but with alcohol. So, yeah.
Yeah, Bailey's is a little iffy for me. It's okay. It's not great.
Because of the cream or what? It's got a chemical taste or what?
The flavor. Gun Scholar said Irish coffee.
This says Irish coffee is a caffeinated alcohol drink. Is it really caffeinated? Or caffeinated? I thought it meant carbonated. I'm reading it wrong. I'll shut up.
I don't know. I've always had it as a coffee, basically. So it's all mixed in with your morning coffee. Well, yeah.
I grew up and it just meant putting something in your coffee, but I guess it means coffee, sugar, and whiskey with cream, sometimes cream liqueur. But I thought when I was a kid, I just would have thought it meant putting some kind of booze in your coffee when you're drinking your coffee.
That's kind of the way that, for me too, growing up, that it was, if somebody said Irish up your coffee, it was just put.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever they had with them,
right.
Whatever day it was, like if they were fishing or if it was Christmas or whatever, they would be like, hey, you want to Irish that up? I guess that was a derogatory slang or whatever. Sorry, Irish people, but well.
Defense set saying real Irish coffee, no Bailey's, coffee, brown sugar, heavy whipped cream, and floated across the top. He made a video about how to make it. Oh, and whiskey, of course.
I was
I'll
going to say
take
that
one.
I'm sure they made it before there was Bailey's, because Bailey's has got to be from the 70s or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just told by my mom initially, so I don't yeah. I didn't know nothing about it before that, so.
I don't think I've ever had one like for real at a bar or nothing, though. Have you ever had is there a coffee with butter in it, or am I crazy?
Coffee with butter?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A
They
coffee
got
drink,
all types of.
like an alcohol drink.
I have no idea.
There's a buttercream.
I'm thinking of something when I was a kid, so I'm probably thinking of it wrong.
There's a
my
butternut.
wife-
No, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and like you're saying, like the real, or like what Defense Ed was saying, like the real Irish creams. I can remember going to places when I was a kid. You know, when we were little, there was no bottles of mix. Like if you went to a place and your parents were ordering something, the bartender would fuck around for a while making the drink. You know, they had to like create it. So I can remember something like that where they took a big thing of, was it melted butter, or it was like melty butter, and they put it into this drink, and I was like, ugh. And then somebody drank it, and I was like, is that, because, you know, I don't know. Have you ever heard of that? Putting butter in a drink? It was some kind of a hot drink.
No.
I thought it was coffee. Anyway, it's a drink, but I can't remember anymore. It was
Like a
long time
hot
ago.
toddy, maybe?
Maybe. It was alcohol. I thought it was coffee and then butter. And I was like, anyway, I'm off on a time tangent here.
I don't know. I'd pass on butter in an alcohol drink or whatever. So seems like butter would be like oily or something.
Yeah, right? Like the wrong way to go.
Yeah. I guess there's some drink they were doing at Starbucks or something for a while where they were actually putting like some type of olive oil in it. And then people were complaining. The Valère, I think it started with a V. I don't know. I seen it in a video the other day. And I was like, God, that looks horrible. And it literally looked like an oil slick on the side of a cup. But I guess people were buying it. Yeah, some people liked it. So I don't know. People put all types of stuff in it. But I definitely don't want an oil slick in my drink.
Yeah, that'd probably just about run straight through you.
Yeah, and
Coffee
I
coffee's
assume
bad
it's
enough.
it's probably going to make you go to the bathroom too if you're just drinking oil. You know,
Right.
like could work out to be a bad combo on the way to work.
Oh, maybe it's a
Yeah.
morning cleanse.
Yeah. Nothing like waking
right.
up in the morning and have some coffee with some 5W30.
Let's we'll go ahead and draw for a winner for the giveaway here. And it is Guns and Barbecue. Congratulations. I should have your address, so I'll get the stuff sent out to you hopefully this week.
Man, you got lucky. This guy's blind, so you can just give him one of your old cups and keep that one, and he'll never even know.
Oh, that's funny.
Does he have to be awake to win? Does he have to be awake to win?
No, I didn't set any parameters other than to enter the hashtag.
Could send him one of them novelty cups with, an adult quote on it or something,
I've got a bunch of mugs, but they're the one from the gun shop I'm keeping. Got some WSU ones. I've got one that it's George W. Bush that says "saving your ass whether you like it or not," which I'm not a George W. Bush fan anymore. I know I've got a couple more. I just can't think of what's on them. Oh, one's a Beagle. I've got one that has Beagle on it. And something else I don't remember. Oh, I've got the one from the Blackout Coffee that they gave us at the Thunder on the Prairie.
Yeah, I like those metal cups. Those are nice. That's the one I
They-
usually drink out of.
They are nice, but the one I have is kind of small.
You said metal cups?
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
it's a
Insulated?
Stainless or
No.
something?
No,
it's
it's a
small
Mine is just
metal.
a porcelain coated
yeah.
metal
Okay.
Yeah.
cup.
Oh, like a camp out, like for camping.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know what
Yeah.
those are good for? Instant oatmeal. They're the perfect size
Mm.
for instant oatmeal.
I
That's what I
don't,
use mine for.
I don't recall trying a coated one. I know I've got a metal one, and it works really good. Like you can, fill up a coffee and you'll burn yourself 5 hours later when you open it. But
Not that kind.
I've noticed that you kind of you can tell it comes from a metal cup. Yeah. So I'm funny about cups, but it's like you order a hot coffee now somewhere. A lot of places it's paper cups, but you can taste the paper. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but like
It's probably
Oh.
the coating on the paper, the wax or whatever they put on it.
something. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Guess I'm picky about containers.
Mike McClune. Only thing about stainless tumblers is once you've had coffee in them, they always taste like coffee. That's true. My wife has a little 20-ounce that she hasn't used in probably 10 years, and it still smells like coffee.
So I've got some. It's called Puro Caf, but you can get other versions. I'll go look and see if you want to see what the ingredients are. But back when I worked as a barista or whatever, we had cleaner, to clean out the coffee pots and stuff, so that you weren't sitting there all day scrubbing on them. And there's a chemical way to remove coffee stains and flavors. It's called Puro. What did I just say? I know it when I'm not trying to think of it. Puro Caf or something. But because I just thought of it because I was debating whether I should throw it away, right? Like, because I hadn't had a coffee maker in forever and I kept it. And then now I have like 7 coffee makers. So I'm glad I kept it. But anyway, there's a chemical way is all I'm saying. You know how like you ever seen like rust removal? You could sit there scrubbing all day and night and you could just put in this chemical and it'll go away. So there is a way to remove coffee. Like I'm saying, when I worked at the coffee place, we didn't have to scrub nothing. We just sprinkled some of this stuff. It's not like caustic or nothing. It's just probably salt or something. But anyway, we would put it in the water. We'd clean the coffee pots. They were brilliant, quickly. So if you're dealing with that with stainless steel, try looking for something that's designed to clean coffee. It must be out there. And if you can't, I've got like 6 cans of it. I'll give you half a bottle or something.
That's all right. I don't really need to use the container.
No, it's not CLR, but it's essentially probably the same thing. Like I say, I go get it. It's not. It's actually right over there. But it's called PuraCaf. PURA maybe CAFE or something like that. I mean, that's just the brand that I was using. But
we use Barkeeper's Friend on anything that's stained really bad.
Probably the same thing, right? Probably just some powdered bleach or something.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. You can use it on stainless steel or mugs, and it takes it right off, and it's just gone.
But one of the things too is metal will ionize, right? So you can get like a flavor. I think that's real. I mean, I haven't seen science or whatever, but metal has what do you call that? Like a charge. So it can pull a charge from something like a coffee, which has something to it. Like water's even got some kind of pH and stuff. So I think you can, that's why drinking out of glass and porcelain is valued because it removes all that, right? Like that's about the cleanest thing you can drink out of.
Probably. That's probably why they're lining the metal cups too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, I got mine a while ago. I can't think of the brand name now, but I got it from the grocery store. It was like $20. I still think it's worth the money, but if you're picky, you can notice it. So yeah.
Well, think of a coffee, just a soda can. Like the soda aluminum cans are lined with plastic, and that's because soda will eat the hell out of the aluminum. So you got to get a taste if you're eating it. If the aluminum is literally in it. I mean, it's not if it was.
They're saying the same thing with the tin cans, like food storage stuff like that. How modern cans aren't the same as the older cans, so you should pay closer attention to the dates. Not that the food necessarily goes bad, but the liners are going to break down on the cans, and then you're eating a bunch of plastic and God knows what. So
Yep. And the only way to get around that is either Mylar or freeze dried stuff.
yeah, or
So
you can
they didn't pick up
can
on
the
that
same
news.
type of things,
Can.
and you
Yep, in
know,
the glass jars.
yeah,
Yep.
and for a longer storage, but it's going to be a little more fragile or whatever. But yeah, it kind of sucks because I've seen stuff where people are pulling cans out from, I don't know, 60 years ago or whatever, and the stuff still looks fresh and everything, and technically it would be edible, but a modern can in the last 10 years or so would, might kill you after a few years. So who knows? Well, I'm not gonna say it would kill you, but sure it wouldn't do good.
Well, it possibly can if you get like dysentery or
Or
you
botulism or
could
something.
crap
Yeah.
yourself to death because you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
dehydrated.
that's true. In a survival situation, that would be a bad thing, very bad thing.
That can
Yeah.
happen to 9mm shooters once they realize the caliber they've chosen.
So it brings up another question, if you don't mind. But would you drink boiled water from a plastic bottle? Because you can boil water in plastic. If that
Sure.
was the only way you could clean it.
Sure. Glass.
I would.
Yeah. You ever boiled in paper bags? Apples and shit like that?
I was gonna say I would too on a temporary basis. I would. I'd rather do that than not drink. But
Have you ever boiled in a paper bag?
no. I've seen it, but I haven't done it.
Back in the day, in scouts and stuff. So knowing that, yeah, I'll drink out of. I mean, I guess it's possible that some of the plastic will leach out, but essentially, as long as the water takes the heat, then the plastic never gets hot enough to melt. So I'm hoping it never gets hot enough to really leach too many chemicals either. The heat goes right through into the water and boils it.
So I was going to talk. Hadn't intended to talk so long about Bond, but we were rolling along, so I didn't want to stop it. But some of the gun-related news stuff, that's something that Rich will talk about. One of the former NRA executives pled guilty to fraud, and he paid like $100,000 fine to New York. And
shut up over there.
And tomorrow is the Wayne LaPierre's trial, but I didn't know there were other executives also that were going to be tried.
Yeah, in a nonprofit, whenever they're messing with the money, everybody who touches it gets in trouble.
And it was Joshua Powell. He was I think basically Pierre's right-hand man up until 2020 when he left the organization. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what shakes out, how it affects the NRA, especially because the New York AG is trying to get basically someone, a non-NRA person, to watch the money and how that affects the NRA.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially since Wayne put up his resignation, even though that's not going to save him from anything as far as legal wise coming down the pipe or anything. But yeah, he cited health issues, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
He's old, man. He's old, isn't he?
74.
He's been there since like the 70s, right?
I guess.
I mean, I think either way, it's probably time for fresh blood in there. I mean, yeah, not that I'm a fan of Wayne or the whole paying for girlfriends apartments deal out of the members' pockets. Like, I personally think they should have to pay all that back personally. Uh, yeah, right off the jump. I don't know if that's been a thing yet, or probably not part of this case, but any misuse of funds becomes a personal liability, in my opinion. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the thumbnail I seen, I mean, the guy looks like he's due for retirement either way, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for him to leave, as far as I'm concerned. A long time coming. But that's just my opinion.
And there's also the bump stock oral arguments for the Supreme Court are tomorrow. I can't remember.
I thought they were February too.
Oh, sorry, no, that's right. They're February. Those are in February. I don't know. I had like 3 different stories that I looked up, and I looked them up on the other computer, so I don't have them on this one.
Oh, I'll put one up here. California woke up on Saturday, and they actually got some of their rights back for the moment.
Yes,
they took away the stay on the concealed carry ban in California. So actually, you can, as of right now, conceal carry in the spots that they said that every place was supposedly a safe space that you couldn't carry, according to what the state of California had put up on top of what the federal government had on top of that, like carrying in federal buildings or post offices and stuff like that. So yeah, that they threw that down. They came back and they reversed
that. DJ Play Nice is swinging through and chasing Ghost. And Tara, I didn't realize that you were doing your chat at the same time until like just before my chat. I probably would have done it a little bit earlier. And I just thought of something else, and then when I lost the thought when I was thinking about something different than the other something else. Oh, Hawaii, where they won't issue carry permits because the training requirement isn't in place.
Oh yeah, that whole damn debacle. It's like that's definitely putting the proverbial cart before the horse on that deal, even though it's unconstitutional anyway. And then they say, well, you got to have the training, but the training's not in place, so now you can't get a carry.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, we know what game you're playing. Come on, we know what freaking game you're playing. It's the same game that New York was trying to do, and every other place. It's like, well, no, now you have to get training. And no, you don't.
So Fine Ape dropped a link for people interested in listening to the oral arguments, and I would guess there'll probably be a few live streams covering it too when it happens.
Okay.
Well, arguments always drive me crazy. Yeah, the one side's always like making outrageous statements and stuff, and they're just so biased. And yeah, it seems like nobody goes there to actually listen. They just go there to preach.
That's kind of with the New York sensitive places. The statement that they said about I don't remember if it's the injunction or the injunction being lifted or which way it's going because it swapped back and forth, but saying that without the sensitive places, it endangers, so many people. It's like, well, weren't they then wouldn't they have been endangered 10 years ago, 15 years ago. These weren't sensitive places before, but all of a sudden they are now.
Yeah, oh, well, it's just like all the cases going on right now. They're just trying to throw as much spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. Unfortunately, that's why we're having to go back and forth, just like the Ninth Circuit in California, the May versus Bonta case, where it's gone up through the court system, back down, up through the court system, and back down. And it's just like, damn it, come on, people. It shouldn't take this long, and they shouldn't be able to throw this much spaghetti at the wall before it's just like, no, it's the people's right. Leave it alone. So, anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it.
And Tara, I will send you a link on Instagrams. There and that there, and there we go. So I sent you a link on the Instagrams.
Trying to think of any other 2A news that was going on right now. Dang, and I just read something from the Penn Patriot here today too. Dang it, I can't remember. Been too many ones come across.
Fine Ape said, I'm not sure how Hawaii scheme is still standing. Court smacked down the feds for not issuing NFA stamps right away when it came into effect. There has to be a massive lawsuit over that, if not in the works, already in the works.
Oh,
Probably
something.
it's a big state, but they're all separate from each other, so you can't just drive from one side of the state to the other like you can in continental United States. People from the other side of the state can come over and attend a something at the Capitol. In Hawaii, the people on that island can. Everybody else, it's extraordinary cost to in time to get from one island to another to attend the state stuff. So it's a tough state to do political stuff in.
How's it going, Tara? How you doing?
Oh, I just got taken down off of Instagram.
Oh.
I didn't know if someone reported me because of the conversation that I was having. And sorry, I've been sick this week, so I'm probably going to end up losing my voice. But I'm actually feeling better, but it's like one of them things. The algorithm, I posted on my Discord the message because I screenshotted it. Couldn't figure out why they took me down. And what happened, and it said it was for sexual content. So I don't know if someone reported me because unless your kink has something to do with a 44 Magnum or a motorcycle or something, it's not sexual content.
I don't know anybody that's had theirs taken down for sexual content. Usually it's the gun stuff.
Yeah, and I wasn't holding it or anything. It's just sitting on the desk in a holster.
Right, Instagram doesn't allow. Well, it's against their terms of service for any kind of gun content, though.
Well, she's saying that's not why they took it down, though.
So you can't even talk about guns at all?
Well, I've had them tell me you're not supposed to mention them in the description of your channel. You're not supposed to show pictures of them or any of that stuff. Although if you do, they won't take you down, but they'll basically shadow ban you at that point. Your stuff won't get promoted. That's what's happened to a lot of us. They don't necessarily take it down. It's like, okay, you're not ever going to gain any followers.
Yeah, the message they sent her says it looks like you shared or sent nudity or sexual activity.
Well, was it a gun without clothes? Then yes, probably nudes. So.
Yeah.
No, it's in a holster. It's closed.
Oh, it's in a holster. Okay, it was
Oh,
dressed.
okay.
Okay.
Well, it was dressed. What was it past the trigger guard?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
Didn't
trying
have
to
a
bring
hammer
some levity to
sticking
the
up or
conversation.
anything, did it?
It wasn't serving alcohol topless, was it?
Were you naked?
No. No.
Sorry, just trying to bring some levity to a shitty situation.
I mean, I could show you, but I don't know if you want that on your chat. So, would
Well,
YouTube
that's
mute
what.
you for that?
I don't know.
Shouldn't, but they shouldn't have took down my live stream for Snob's picture of him holding a pistol. But,
Yeah. What did it even say in the? It even said image at the top. they took it down.
No, it's just sitting in a holster on my desk. That's all.
Right. I was talking about Gizzard's channel. What was it, about a month ago now?
yeah,
Month and a half ago, something like that.
I don't know
Well,
the exact date.
I think they just pulled it because it was a picture of Snob.
I'm not even sure if he'd shown his face at that point in time yet.
No, you could tell by his
Could have been
hand
different.
it was him, though. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody
Right.
has those big of hands.
I contested it, and I kind of don't know if I should have or not. But I've never been taken down before.
If you were technically bending the rules per se, I probably wouldn't contest it. But I don't know. I'm not on that platform, so yeah. Everybody
Well,
has opinion,
I would
but-
kind of go back to the reason that they said was because it was sexual. But she's saying
I'm wondering if somebody would have like reported me or something.
Somebody probably just reported you saying something, and
They sent a
they were just like,
picture.
"Oh, okay," and click.
In the picture they sent, what they were talking about. Okay, some of y'all know who, or all of you might, who Bjorn is,
yeah.
and he lives up in Michigan. Well, I've got a off and on kind of regular run that goes up there to Michigan. And he was saying that there was going to be 3 to 5 inches expected on Tuesday. So if you look at the bottom of that picture, it says we're expecting 3 to 5 inches. And I don't know.
Seriously? Wow.
How in the hell?
That seems crazy, but if they actually send somebody back to review and do see a firearm, I mean, it might cause, that shadow banning stuff and everything as well.
Mm-hmm. It might. It's not like I make any money off of Instagram. So, and most of the people, it's not like I get out there anyways because they don't like motorcycle content either. You know. Actually, speeding is okay. Stunting, stuff like that is not. And they hit the motorcycle community just as hard as they do the gun community.
They've even gotten after me for pocket knives, saying that I was promoting dangerous weapons for a folding pocket knife. Not even an automatic knife, mind you, just a regular old garden variety knife.
I've got arrows behind me, a bottle of vodka, a bottle of Dos Equis that I'm drinking, a 44 Magnum. Yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff they probably won't like. So.
No, you mean just being American?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
swear the
that's
vodka's just for my throat. I've been sick. I swear.
Yeah, they're trying to take away anything that anybody enjoys anymore, especially for just what's been enjoyed for the last, I don't know, 100 years or more.
Right.
But
Oh well. It's not like I'm monetized on Instagram. It's kind of cool because I can show better. Like the Instagram Reels work better than YouTube Shorts as far as how it shows the picture. Because YouTube Shorts wants to scrunch everything up and mess it up. But I've also noticed that some of my videos were not being allowed to be showed. Like one of them was in 2 countries, and then one of them, the list was so long it just started alphabetically because of whatever song that I used.
Yeah.
Um, it's like, okay. So is it allowed in the United States? And I realize people may watch in other countries, but my primary audience is the United States. Is it allowed here? So it's kind of all I care about.
yeah, these platforms are getting more weirder and weirder all the time. It seems like.
I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
conversation y'all were having earlier, but uh, this just happened, and y'all happen to be on. And I
Oh,
guess
that's
I'm
fine.
kind of venting my frustration. It's if they would have took it down and said for the alcohol, for the firearms, for the arrows I've got behind me that go to my Hoyt Carbon Spider. I think better not be bent. Is it? No, that's optical illusion. Cool.
Oh,
I was looking at the
hopefully
arrow where they're all cut to length and everything custom for me, you know. So I was looking, I'm like, is that thing bent? Oh no, it's not. So
hopefully it's not going to be too much of a surprise or shock because I mean, we all know how these platforms are going, so. And it shouldn't be that way, but if we play with fire with some of our content, then once in a while we get burned on it. So I know I've
yeah,
had issues with rounds hitting steel targets where they want to call it copyright claim, saying that the music I used, was a problem. There wasn't any music; it was just rounds hitting a target. But yeah, they do stupid stuff, and that's what they do. So unless you're doing makeup or something,
cat
yeah,
video.
and I have looking at algorithms. I think even the makeup channels have mostly a male audience. When you're looking at like YouTube, the studio and everything, and it looks at your content, and it's like how much is male and how much is female and what have you. I think the only makeup channels that have, a mostly female audience would be the ones with like the gay dudes that are doing the makeup. The rest of them probably have like 80% male and, the rest female, what have you. It's hard to get a female audience, even with the cooking channel. Oh,
Hmm.
that's New York Outcast over there. I don't think I've heard your voice before.
Yep, yep. Hello.
Yeah. Well, hello to you too.
Munching
My
on some
voice is
chips and
usually
dip.
better, but my throat's messed up, so. I'm sorry for interrupting whatever you had going on there. like I said, I think it's more just venting my frustration. So
No, that's all right.
if you want
But
to carry on, fine.
well, I will do this.
GearWebsites.com for 2A stickers, patches, books, logo design, web design, 3D printing, technology consulting, and so much more. GearWebsites.com.
It's www.gearwebsites.com. Well, Tara, why don't you tell everybody about your channels?
Hold on.
Thanks for the plug.
Or, well, we'll go to Rob. Rob, plug something.
Salad. Salad is a healthy snack, side item. Could be a lunch. You know, make your food work for you. Salad. Back to you, Foss.
Sorry, I
Salads
was
are
coughing.
good. Oh no, that's all right. And the guy that always talks about salad always has pictures of cheeseburgers. So Tara, why don't you tell everybody about your channels?
Well, I have a cooking channel, Tara Smith's Kitchen, where I cook everything, but it's largely kind of Slavic food, Eastern European food, which one of my grandmothers came from over there, and also some more Cajun than Creole, although that's kind of mixed up, and that comes from over on the other side of the family. I've got English and Irish and stuff too, but their food's not as good. So, I usually film what I cook to take on the road with me, and I need to put out a few more like actual videos because I've been doing a lot of live cooking, and I'll be doing a video cooking live tomorrow, and that's a little different because a lot of things they take time. Like if you're showing like making kolaches and stuff and trying to do all that stuff live, you need something else to go in. So, and my other channel is Chasing Ghosts, which is the channel that I'm on right now. It is a motorcycle channel primarily talking about issues to do with, motorcycles, that sort of thing. Sometimes I have a guitar on there, something like that. Today I was talking about carrying while on a motorcycle. And because I do carry a firearm, I do ride a motorcycle, I do both of those things at the same time. And I have a trip to make from Texas to New York this summer with the varying laws and acceptability. And I'm looking for other people that happen to carry and ride a motorcycle and trying to find out how they carry, what kind of holster, where, what they carry, what kind of bike they ride, where they live, where they ride, what issues they've ran into with the process. It's a whole different thing with a motorcycle. Well, it's not completely different, but we're wearing different kind of clothings. We have different kind of access. Most people carry on their right side. You have your throttle on your right side. So instead of carrying at like 3:30, I'm carrying a little closer to 4 o'clock or so, so that if I have to, I can reach it with my left hand. Because that's throttle. And I know, what's his name, Mr. Wick, made it look really cool reaching across with his left hand, grabbing the throttle and all that. But, I don't think most people are going to be able to do that and shoot a gun. So it's
What about you just flip around, sit on the motorcycle backwards, steer with your hand behind your back, and then shoot normally going backwards?
I'm not that talented. I'm sure somebody has probably done a trick shot doing that sort of thing, but I'm not that talented. And then there's like they have the thigh holsters, and a lot of people carry the thigh holster, but then once again, it's usually on your right side. You have your throttle and your brakes on your right side. So that's an issue. And I like the ones it's like a thigh bag and it has the holster in them, but it's still on the right side. And like I said, you have your throttle, you have all of that stuff. And then they have the holsters like what you would put in your pickup or something, but they're mounted on something like a handlebar mount or what have you. You know, like the things that people put under their dash, under their steering wheel, the Kydex sort of holsters your gun snaps into. And they have those that you can put inside your fairing as, you know, that possibly being an option. There's who was it? I think Rick Rack and a few others, they have leather holsters to go inside your saddlebags. If you go back through my videos and you look at the videos that I did on the Lone Star Rally, I have one where I actually have a short in there somewhere where, well, I show it on the video of like the whole Lone Star Rally where I put them all together because I did a live video going in. Then I filmed all the booths and stuff walking around, and then I did another live video and I put them together. But then there's a short in there where I'm showing, I believe it was Rick Rock, and showing the holsters they have that will go in your saddlebags so that when you have to secure your firearm, you have to go in someplace you can't carry your firearm or what have you, you can put it in there and lock it up in your saddlebag. Those sort of things are there. But it's a little different than if, I mean, some of y'all have rode motorcycles, you know what I mean. You're riding a motorcycle is different than driving a car, a pickup, or something like that. You know, your controls are different. What you're having to do is different. We're carrying firearms too. Yeah, we've got the same Second Amendment rights as everybody else. It's just we face a few different issues as far as exercising them. Like I'm going down US 59 and my shirt's blowing up and anyone behind me is looking at whatever I'm carrying, you know? So is printing an issue in your state when I'm driving through? Is
Yeah,
open
on
carry
my
an issue?
It is in New York. So, as somebody who's ridden, rode bikes, farmed, or whatever, that would be a problem. Your shirt blowing in the wind with your gun being, what they'd consider brandished or whatever.
Mhm.
That you're definitely getting pulled over quick. Probably with guns drawn on you too, because it's New York. So, like, officer safety, all that type of stuff. So,
yeah,
but
on my bobber, at about 60, it would unbutton my flannel shirts.
I got away with it on a sport bike with a Roadmaster jacket. Usually always wore a jacket, unless I was literally like going around the block or something typically. But the jacket, inside the waistband holster or outside the waistband holster, just my standard holster usually worked fine. But the jacket kind of kept everything tucked in pretty well. Obviously, you can't quick draw like that in a sense. I mean, well, you wouldn't be the fastest, but you wouldn't be that slow. You got to lift your coat and whatnot. But it never had a problem. Was always secure that way. Didn't have any, what do you call it? Stage 2, stage 3 locks on your holsters, things like that. Retention. These are just basic holsters. And I've had no problems. So off-road riding, dirt bikes and stuff, I would usually put a gun in a cargo pocket and zip it. Like I've got a couple pair of pants that are specific for that, or if I go to the fair or something like that. So, but and never had much of a problem like that either. So, or ATVs even. So, but yeah, New York, there's none of that. You know, technically, I don't even know if you can legally carry in New York because unless you got your permit from New York, you're not supposed to. So, I'm not sure how that works traveling through on a bike. You know, how if you had it stored in a saddlebag and you know the ammo on the other side or whatever. I'm not exactly sure on a bike. So I definitely look into
I,
that. And
I would
half
have
the
to get
police don't know the laws around here either. So as soon
I
as
would
they
have
see
to
a
get a
gun, it's a red flag.
I would have to get a permit in New York or I believe Connecticut. I think New York honors Connecticut because Brooke was talking to me about that. And I'm not going to do that for what little time that I'm actually up there because I don't really drive up there anymore. When I used to go up there in the truck, I would, if I was worried about getting pulled over where I was going, I would go ahead, take it off. It would go in one side box and the ammo would go in another completely separate, opposite. And no magazines in it, that sort of thing. And I don't know if that would have done any good because I think in New Jersey or someplace you're still going to jail because they don't really care. But I'm probably either leaving it with my aunt, and she's down there by Ringtown, Pennsylvania, Hershey, that area, or leaving it with Dan. He's up there, I think, close to the New York line. Angry. I
Okay.
was talking to him, and
There's
I'm like,
some places. I mean, if you know somebody, that's always ideal. But you know, something that's come up in the past. Even with other people. And in some situations, you can get storage lockers, uh, you know, bus station, a lot of different places where you could leave it in a legal state and travel to the adjoining state and then come back, pick your stuff up on the way out. I mean, obviously, you know, how you go about it makes a difference. And, you know, you don't want to be unloading a bunch of valuables in front of a bunch of junkies in a locker at night. But, you know, there's different places that have things like that. That's not necessarily for firearms, but it could be used as
be
such.
used.
Go
Yeah.
into
I
the
did something
bus station.
similar when I would go to Canada. Like I go up through Sweetgrass and there was a it's gun store or firing range kind of place there that I could get a truck near. And I was carrying a 1911 at the time and I would drop it off there for cleaning. And it's like, "Hey, I'm going up here." And they know what the deal is. I'm not the only one that was doing that. They're clued in on the whole thing. And you pay them to, "Hey, you clean it and everything for me. I'm going to be back in 2 days to pick it up. Is that fine?" Okay, cool. So they have your gun. You come back. It's cleaned. You're good. Do not get caught at the border with a firearm. So it's kind of similar to what I would do there.
Yeah, something like that works as well. I mean, the only difference is maybe timing, availability, and price. But you know, that's all what you can come up with on the fly. So there's options out there. That's the key. But you got to kind of think outside the box sometimes.
Right, right. It's I'm trying not to cough, but it's an issue. When you travel for a living, when you're making trips, you're doing that sort of thing. I live in Texas. I literally just got out of a ticket um Thursday up by Marshall, Texas, because I have a carry license. You know, it's like, okay, because I know what speed I was doing when he pulled me over. And he went ahead and needed a level 2, and I passed the inspection, and he let me go. But in Texas, the state trooper will grade your firearm. And they really like it when you carry something like a 1911 or, you know, the guns that they think are cool, and they think, yeah. If you don't have your gun on you and you have a carry license, they will give you shit about it. That is the state troopers, though. That's not your local cops. That's not your county sheriffs. Some of those guys are stupid. Some of them aren't exactly pro-gun. City of Houston, I got into it with a guy at my writing club because I was like, he retired from there and he was a cop there. And I'm like, they're not pro-gun. And he's like, we're pro-gun. I'm like, no, you're not. And even if the individual officer is, they're higher ups, the DAs, they're not. So Harris County is not pro-gun. It's a pro-gun state. The laws still apply there. But it's a whole lot different than getting pulled over by a state trooper or, being pulled over in Cleveland, Texas, or something like that, where the cop doesn't care that you have a gun. Yeah. In Houston, you're liable to get that second and third and fourth car behind you, waiting in the car, that sort of thing.
Well, let me see if Pat, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, not really. Just got some videos coming up here. Now that I finally got through with all the holiday seasons and everything. Got some, hopefully some writing videos and some gun videos coming up. Finally got that AR-47 built out the way I wanted to now. I've got some rounds through it now, so hopefully have a video out on it sometime this month, as long as the weather cooperates halfway decent. And yeah, other than that, no, that's about it on my end. Oh, quick question to Tara. What do you ride?
Did you ask what I ride?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a 2023 Lowrider ST and a 2022 Fat Bob.
Oh, nice.
M8 114 and M8 117 Stage 2.
All right, you're getting after it.
She don't play
Oh, yeah.
around.
Well, that's way different than what I ride. So,
What do you ride?
1996 Honda CBR 600, and then I've got a CBR double R. Same year.
Gary,
Those are
got
torquey.
anything you want to plug?
Oh, I did a review of this last week. I got one or two coming out this week, and Foul Territory on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central. So that's about it. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, thanks for coming up. G-Webs, what you got going on?
Why don't we? What's tomorrow? Monday?
Yes.
Is there any shows tomorrow?
Matt and Yankee.
No. So then I'll be live on Tuesday talking coaching. The next thing I do, I guess.
And I put links for everybody's channels out in the side chat so you can check them out. If you watch this in replay, leave a comment. I always read the comments, and I do really appreciate them. And thank you to those that were out in the live chat chatting it up. And if you were out there watching and didn't say anything, I appreciate you too. Don't be afraid to speak up. Let me know you're out there. I appreciate everybody that showed up on the panel here for the fill-in chat, for the totally loaded media. And next weekend will be an overnight. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. I haven't thought about the topic yet. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment. Other than that, Hope everybody has a. Let me find which outro. So use that one. All right. So appreciate everybody, and have a good night.